finally got to see the Batman. It's been going, I saw it Thursday night. I know you saw it last night. Was
I
it
saw it Saturday night. Yep, last night.
Saturday night? Yep. And dude, it was, we'll kind of get into our little spoiler-filled discussion, of
Yeah,
course, for the Batman. But first, let's talk about how much money it's making, man.
bro, it's rolling. The producers and the directors and everybody, they're rolling in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, according to Deadline, the updated Sunday morning numbers was that the Batman is going strong at $128.5 million domestic and $248.5 million worldwide. So not too bad of an opening weekend for
Yeah.
the Batman. I
I'm
think
saying it.
it's the second best opening since 2019, which was Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mhm.
So under that one. So it's not bad, man. $128.5 million. It's good. It's
It
a really
definitely does make
solid.
sense. I know there was some issues down in like in the UK because they rated it kind of heavily. They rated it like a 15, which means if you're not 15, you can't watch it at all with or without parental guidance or a parent.
Parents.
So that definitely hurt the box office there. But we're talking about the US right here. This is definitely like more of a heavy, film, and it is
It,
probably
it,
very confusing for people.
yeah.
So like, okay, we're getting another Batman, which you know makes sense because just a couple of years ago we had Ben Affleck, we had Michael Keaton back, so people are probably very confused.
Mhm.
Of course we know that these are all like separate, but general audiences are like, why do they have so many of these movies? Um, so that may be kind of like a thing, but it was just so great. I believe like word of mouth helped it make the money
Mhm.
that it has. Um, and I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow because
Nice.
it's just that good. Man,
You're gonna
I just
you're
realized
gonna
that's like
add
3 hours of my life.
for real. This is a long movie. You're
So,
gonna
it
add
didn't
what?
feel long though.
You're gonna add what?
So,
Like, are you going by yourself or with your girlfriend, friends?
I'm going with some friends. Yeah.
Friends. So you're gonna add what, like $40 to the 128.5 million?
I mean, AMC is because I got A-list, so let's
All right.
go. That's why,
So
dude.
just a little breakdown on Friday. It came in strong with with $57.1 million on Friday. So I guess Friday takes the Thursday and Friday numbers and probably puts them together. Um, and then Saturday it came in with 43.2 million, and Sunday a little less with 28.2 million to round out 128.5. So not a bad opening day on Friday. It's 57.1 million, solid.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, it was, dude. It's a long movie. If anyone listen to the podcast, if you're not a fan of long movies, this is a long movie. But the cool thing is that it keeps you entertained.
it made more money than people thought, I guess, or they beat the projections.
Mhm.
But that's awesome. That's what we want to see. Let's hope that it keeps kind of chugging along and make some real money. And if it makes them enough money, maybe we'll get another movie, right?
Something like
So
that.
going right into it now, Ace. Let's talk about the Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman, dude. How did you feel going into this movie?
I honestly, I didn't know what to expect. And I kind of went in just with an open mind, like, okay, let's see what they come up with. Like Robert Pattinson as Batman. And I'm like, okay, I can see, a younger Batman. But I wasn't sure. I was just wasn't sure. Like, I don't know. I had heard good things, and going in open mind. And yes, it was a long movie. Some parts seemed like it dragged a little bit, but overall the pacing was good. But yo, Robert Pattinson did a good job as Bruce Wayne. Like, he did a really good job as Bruce Wayne. Like,
Mm,
and acted very well in that movie. Like yeah, it was a good performance from him.
yeah. I definitely went into this. I was hyped. I was excited. I was thinking like this is going to be a fantastic movie. Like I
Mhm.
already knew that. But I mean, you can't know for sure. Obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
Dune. Anyways, I just bring it up every chance I. It's another WB movie, man. You can't tell me it's not relevant.
I know, I know.
But, but
Okay,
anyways,
I
yeah.
probably like Dune because I read the book. Okay, fine.
So disappointing. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's disappointing.
Okay,
Anyway,
back to Batman. Back to Batman.
back to Batman. I was not disappointed in this movie
Yeah.
at all. It definitely took some made some decisions that I was not expecting.
Mhm.
But I know I went with my friend for his birthday, and his girlfriend and my girlfriend was kind of like, I guess I'm just coming along for the ride, and she really liked it, and I'm glad to see that people who didn't really care to see this have also really enjoyed it. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just satisfied me on like pretty much every level. It was a long movie, but I did not feel like it was long.
Mhm.
I did feel like the same as you. I felt like some moments could have been cut a little bit
Yeah.
tighter, but I feel like a lot of that was just kind of an artistic like
Mhm.
choice to drag on some scenes, because you did have some of those scenes where it was just Robert Pattinson just kind of staring and like
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
people, like he was like looking at that kid,
Yeah.
first as Batman and then
Mhm. As
as
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne and then later as Batman. And dude, okay, just jumping right ahead there, I really liked how they build that relationship with him,
Mhm.
because I'm thinking this kid knows who he is. This kid know I know this kid knows that Bruce Wayne
Bruce
is
Wayne.
Batman,
Yeah.
because it's just that like level of eye contact. He was the first one that like trusted him at the end. He's just
Mhm.
like, or he's just a kid. He's just like, all right, dude, like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, or maybe he's just like, oh, he also lost his dad like I did, kind of thing.
well,
Um.
Robert Pattinson is thinking that way too, but
Mhm.
the kid's not. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, so it's crazy because just by him like looking at him, just what he's showing that I know what he feels like. You can see that on his
Mhm.
face, like cow or no cow,
Yeah.
and it's so beautifully like directed and like acted. Robert Pattinson just knocked it out of the park, dude.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Dude,
job.
I Commissioner Gordon, bro. He did the
Yeah,
that was a great casting for Commissioner Gordon.
Jeffrey Wright's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, like his whole thing of like being what was it? Batman was like, you're not corrupt, and like him like being like and like a good upstanding police
Mhm.
officer, and but just the way that the actor portrayed uh, Commissioner Gordon was
Yeah,
amazing.
dude,
It
their
was
chemistry.
great. Yeah, oh yeah, their chemistry was really, really good from the beginning.
Yeah,
And I like
and
I like one of my favorite parts was like when Batman was in the jail cell and all the cops were around him and he's like, "Let me talk to him."
uh,
And he was like yeah, but he was all like, "Here's a key." Like, like going up like kind of
dude,
like pretending to like badmouth them and he's like,
and he's
"Here's
like talking in his face, and I'm
yeah.
like, now
Yeah.
kiss.
Here's here's the key. You're gonna go to that room and go to the top and then jump off. And he was telling him how to escape, but he was like all like in his face and being all mad and everything. And then he's like, "You're gonna punch me." And then the Batman punches him. And what was it like? The next time they meet, he's like, "You could have pulled your punch." He's like, "Yeah, I did."
Oh yeah, it was so good. Another another thing before we get oh man, I was laughing too hard. But yeah, so during the movie, I did not expect to laugh so much.
Yeah.
There was so many like subtle little like jokes. Like they weren't jokes like in the
Mhm.
movie, but it was like, God, that was so
Yeah.
good. Like whether it was like the riddles or just like Paul Dano himself. I'm like, God, I cannot. Oh my God, he's Paul Dano fantastic as
Dude,
the Riddler. Like he was
dude,
creepy and smart, but
amazing,
you knew that there
amazing
was
as the Riddler.
something going on. Like,
Yes. Like he really got into the Riddler's head. Like it was so good.
mhm,
And it was like freaky, but not freaky at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? Like, cause yeah, it was
He's
like
just like a
a
normal dude.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so before that, like there was, I was like, come on, Paul Dano as him, like, and then
mhm,
I would see his face. He's just like a childish looking dude, right?
mhm,
He just looks like a little boy. Honestly, he got
mhm.
very boyish features. But I'm like, man, I don't know if I can take him seriously. But God, like
Yeah,
I had chills
yeah,
when he was sitting in the diner when he was just talking to Batman and like
yeah. He's like, I did this for you. It's like you inspired me.
you helped
Your
me.
vengeance, and
And it's crazy
he's just
because
like,
he led him that whole way there.
yeah, yeah. It was yeah. Those and the way yeah. So from the beginning when we first got introduced to the Riddler, it was it was like I
That
said,
opening
creepy.
scene was fantastic
Oh
too.
yeah, it was amazing. It's like I am in the dark or something like that. I am the darkness or whatever.
Matt Reeves
And
did a fantastic job with that too
mhm,
because you think, "Oh, this is some guy stalking the Waynes and they're gonna kill him and they're gonna be like, 'Look, this is Batman.'" Like,
yeah,
I was afraid that was gonna happen,
yeah, me
but
too. But no, and like I was saying before, how I like how they like didn't retell the story of Batman, but they still mentioned how he became Batman in a very subtle way. It could have honestly been a throwaway line,
mm,
like it was just like a passing comment kind of
mm.
thing. But I think we get that when Bruce Wayne interacts with um can't believe I'm forgetting the butler's name. Um
Alfred
Alfred, thank you. uh
also really good. Just
Also really, really
Andy
good.
Serkis as Alfred was just fantastic too.
Amazing. Yeah. And and then we finally see that Alfred is a badass. Like because in every
This version is a
yeah,
badass. Yeah.
because in every other Batman movie, he's been like old or not really much, but yeah,
Or
like
he was
Alfred's
actually just like a friend and part of the
yeah,
family, but a
yeah, but
butler.
no, Alfred's
Um,
Alfred's background is crazy. Like he was
he's the one that
special
taught him how to fight.
forces. I know he was like ex British special forces and yeah, so he's a badass in his own right. And
They do have that Pennyworth series. I never watched it, but I know
mhm,
in that one it's him as like an agent.
mhm,
So, like, is this like the same? Is this
mm,
Andy Serkis's, or is this just kind of like, it does show you like, okay, in some iterations of Alfred, he was some sort of special
mhm,
forces, and he could handle his own, and then somehow
yeah,
he became, part of the Waynes
yeah,
uh, family. But
yeah,
it's just really
yeah.
cool to have seen a different take on that.
Mhm. And then dude, the Falcone character,
Bro, Johnson
yo,
Turo.
yeah, dude, amazing as well. Like entire cast was
Oh
great.
man,
But just the way that he interacts with Batman, or not even Batman, Bruce Wayne, like when
yeah.
he when so when Bruce Wayne finds out that his dad had paid
Well,
tried to pay off the reporter who had dirt on him while Thomas Wayne was
it
trying
wasn't
to
dirt on
run
him.
for
It was dirt
election
on the
on the
mom.
mom. Yeah, dirt on the mom while Thomas Wayne was trying to run for mayor, and then Miss Thomas Wayne had like that meeting with Falcone, like, "Hey, I want you to not." He didn't tell him to kill him, but what was it? He told him to put the
To
fear
put
of
the
God in him. Is
uh,
that's what it said?
that's what he said, yeah.
And then sometimes, it's like, hey, you wanna. Sometimes when they don't when that doesn't happen,
It just doesn't work.
then it doesn't
But
work. Then they killed him, and then Batman, and then Bruce Wayne was like just like head shatters and that whole thing happened. But then when they finally meet and Falcone tells him that story, like that was really good. Like
yeah,
you could feel like you could feel Bruce Wayne's just like inner turmoil, and the way that Robert Pattinson brought
'cause
that
that
out
just
was
shattered
great.
his image of his father
Yeah,
right there,
yeah.
and
And
it
and
took
just the
him
way that Falcone just told that just like with a straight face, like the dude, like it was so cut and dry
yeah.
and evil.
Because it
Like
shows you, like, how different he is as a
yeah,
person because that's just his perspective. He's just, "Oh, he told me to shut him up, so
yeah,
I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
shut him up. And if this thing doesn't work, then gotta take care of him. And he just thinks of it as like, yeah, that's what he told me to do. But no, he didn't want that. And yeah, so two things with that. There was first off, when he just straight up saw Alfred, he went to the hospital, and as soon as Alfred woke up,
Yeah.
he's like, "You son of a bitch, you lied to me."
For real.
Like,
For real.
chill. And it took Alfred to actually tell him, like, no, like, I knew your father. He
Mhm.
didn't. Like, he went to him, but that was his mistake to believe that he would do anything less, you know, that he wouldn't go and like
Yeah.
murder somebody. But it's just, man, it just shows you how great a relationship like he has with Alfred. And then
Mhm.
you like even like something as simple as like him like reaching out and holding, grabbing Alfred's hand, like even something that simple makes you think like, damn, this guy is like learning more about himself,
Mhm.
every day. Um, the other thing was they show us him going into that club, the Iceberg Lounge,
Mhm.
twice. The first
Yeah.
time as Batman, and they're just like, we're not gonna let you in. Like, obviously, because he's a Batman, he's looking
Yeah.
for dirt and stuff, and he's looking to
Or I think the penguin,
he
he
was
was
looking
looking
for
for the
the
penguin
penguin the
the
first
first
time,
time.
yeah. But they're just like, "No, there's no way we're letting you in
Yeah.
here." And dude, he he beat those twins up. Oh god, dude. He like
Yeah.
threw the fucking like a hook through was it through their leg
I
or was it
think
like
so.
around it?
I
I
don't
I
I don't
couldn't see.
know. I
I'll
couldn't
find that
tell.
again tomorrow when I see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he beat them up. But anyways, he goes back as like Bruce Wayne, and it's just seeing those like juxtaposed, and they're just like, oh, it's really him. All right, come on in,
Yep.
dude. Like,
Yep. Yep.
damn.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Because it's it was it called him the city's prince or whatever he called them, Falcone, something like that.
oh
The
yeah,
the
yeah.
the the prince of the city or something like that. Um.
And
Mhm.
yeah, they just did that really well. That whole I love how they incorporated all of these Batman characters without making it seem like convoluted because all of them were tied and their stories were all tied together in a very 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 satisfying way.
Mhm.
Uh, Cobblepot, being under Falcone, and we have to talk about Colin Farrell separately
Yeah.
because that was just another level of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, him being under Falcone, and then Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman,
Yeah. I was remember
going
that
in
next.
there. That was, dude. All these performances were great, but just the
Yeah.
way they intertwined everybody together was just so fantastic and well done and executed. You Yeah, the fact that you could not tell at all that that was Colin Farrell
Dude, I
shows.
totally forgot that that was him.
Oh my goodness. That shows just how great of an actor he is.
Yeah.
And there's so many prosthetics, it still came through. His
Yeah.
acting came through. And props to
The
the
the the
prosthetics and
the
the
makeup
costumes, the
team.
makeup team, and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
my
I
goodness.
totally forgot that that was him. Like when you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
It
I
looked so
forgot that
good,
he was Cobblepot, the
so well
penguin.
acted. I kind of bought you buy how like sleazy he is, and
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
kind of waiting for his moment, and
Mhm.
this is his moment now because
Mhm.
Riddler does end up killing Falcone. Um, but man, at that point, if we still had like an hour left in the
I
movie,
know. I know. I know. When I was watching, I'm like, oh, the movie's about to end. Nope.
yeah,
Just got a lot more. So Cobblepot, the penguin, Colin Farrell, amazing. And then when Selena shows up, Catwoman, like, yeah, also another great performance. What's the actress's name? You said
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz. Yeah, she did a great job as Catwoman. Again, another a very early on Catwoman as well. Like
Mhm.
not the super thief that we all know.
Yeah,
Um, but this is kind of her origin story, if you will. Um, but I wonder I don't know. Did she say where she was going, or like she was upstate? She just said upstate, so I don't know what that means.
she
But
mentioned some city. I don't know
mhm.
if it means anything in the Batman. universe at all.
Mhm.
So I mean, well, again, I'll have to look that up. I'll ask my roommate. We'll see. But yeah, it's they mentioned so many little things. It definitely leads. Oh my god, yeah, they introduced the Joker, kind of
Yeah, at the
like
very end. Well,
they
towards the end.
and it
Yeah.
was Druig from Eternals. I forgot his name. It's like Barry something. But they introduced that, and going into this, I thought, please don't introduce the Joker. Please don't, because there's so like the Rogues Gallery for Batman is just so rich, and so you can get in so deep and like find some great characters that
Mhm.
you can really adapt well onto the big screen.
Mhm.
But the Joker sells. But again, seeing this movie, seeing what Matt Reeves is capable of with
Yeah.
characters like what the Riddler. What's the last time we saw the Riddler on the big screen live
Was
action?
it
It was Jim
Jim
Carrey.
Carrey? Yeah.
And as ridiculous as that was, and as much as I like that performance, it's like a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that Riddler is more like the comic booky Riddler, like funny and kind twisted but funny and like
there's definitely a lot of different
less.
versions of them, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
That
more
that that
goofy
that
version
movie.
of Riddler.
Yeah.
But seeing how grounded he can make the Riddler in this was just like, okay, ridiculous. He calls himself the Riddler, but yeah, he just loved puzzles. He was hurt by the Waynes, and or he feels like he was hurt by the Waynes and the
Hmm.
promise of like something better, and it ties him to Bruce Wayne. And for a moment you think like, okay, he knows that he's Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne, but they wrote, again, written so well to make us like think about that. And even Batman himself was just like, don't say it, don't give it away. He doesn't know, does he? But
Yeah.
they
Like when the Riddler leaves that video towards the end, I thought that was gonna be like a video of like the Batman like unmasking himself, and then you
mhm,
can see it's Bruce Wayne. That's what I thought it was gonna be,
mhm,
and it was just his what was his last like testament or whatever. I don't
yeah,
remember what what honestly what I don't remember what what the video was, but I thought it was gonna be like
said like his
a
confession, right? Yeah.
yeah. I honestly thought it was gonna be Batman, him catching Batman unmasking himself
Mhm.
and going and changing back into Bruce Wayne. I thought it was gonna be, but yeah,
they were they were throwing us off even in like the marketing, because
I
it says
know.
unmask the truth, and we're like, oh, is he's about to
Yeah,
tell everyone that that's Bruce
yeah,
Wayne. And no, they they planned this all out so well.
yeah.
Um, way beyond like even walking into the movie theater, you were
Hmm.
thinking like, oh, are they gonna do this? But no,
Hmm.
and it
Hmm.
it just it paid off. It
Yeah,
just
dude. What about that last fight scene when like so the Riddler blows up the seawall and the ocean starts going into Gotham, literally like just
like
taking
all the
taking everything
yeah,
out,
it
taking
just
everything
starts
out.
flooding.
And then you have all the other people who are dressed as the Riddler, who are like his followers, I guess. And they're with guns and everything, and
All of
they're
his
ready
dark
to
web goons.
for real. Okay, so how okay before we get to that last fight, you just reminded me whenever the Riddler was like in his last live and he's like, this community has meant so much to me. I was like, oh my goodness. Do
I
you
think
remember that?
they kind of commented a little bit about like social media and
Yeah,
culture there just a bit without
yeah,
being like super in your face. But
yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of
It's
that's
like
another moment where I laughed and
this
I felt
community
so
has
bad
meant
about it.
so much. This community has been so supportive and have and has been so good to me these past few
Oh,
months. I was like, wow, how demented do you have to be?
God, it was so
That
great. And
that is insane.
they did enough to make me like feel kind of bad for him, because like this
Yeah.
dude seriously needs help, because
Hmm.
I mean, of course, like there's it's just, man, how did they do that?
Yeah.
Um, that's what
But
makes like the Batman villains so
great.
compelling.
Yeah. But so that last scene, that last major fight scene where the Batman is just taking on all these goons up on the scoreboard inside, I guess the
Mhm.
equivalent to Madison Square Garden. I'd believe.
Yeah, because they
They
were
just
like in
called it the Garden
arena.
or the Arena or whatever. So, but when I looked at it, it's like, oh, it kind of looks like a Madison Square Garden kind of thing.
Mhm.
So, um, but yeah, like he was fighting them goons, and like at one point, I'm like, man, Batman, like, yeah, like I know you don't kill, but
Oh,
damn, but damn,
bro, he was like messing them up.
yeah.
There was that one where this guy was like hanging and he threw himself at him and swings with him. That was so cool. He swings
Yeah,
on him, rolls on, and just starts fighting dudes
yeah.
again. Like that was done so
Yeah,
well.
I like how in this movie where he's like fighting, he's like tying them up and like throwing them over, so like they're
Yeah.
like dangling,
I'm over
and
here just
that's
thinking
kind of like
Spider-Man
the
in my
yeah, no, well, Spider-Man, but also like if you've played any of the Arkham games,
Mhm.
that's how Batman when you like do those like sneak up moves,
Like the takedowns and
yeah,
stuff.
the
Like,
takedowns, like
yeah.
you'll take him down and then he'll hang him up off whatever
He'll
using
like
ropes. So like
go down,
yeah,
pick him up, and then like tie him up on top
yeah,
of the
like punch him, knock him out,
yeah.
then time down kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's kind of like the games, but dude, so my thing was, what was that thing that he injected himself with? Like
Bro, I
towards
don't
towards the
know.
end,
This
was
dude
that because
straight up has
in
like
my head, in my head, I'm like, is that one thing that makes that dude like really big? What was that?
Bane?
Bane, yeah. Is that like the thing
Yeah,
that
that's
Bane
what I was
uses?
thinking too. I'm like,
Yeah,
hold up. Is there a Bane in this universe? Like, is
yeah,
there a Bane already? Because this is like he said this is like his second year.
yeah.
Um, so that was insane. Again, another thing I'm gonna have to ask my roommate.
Mhm.
For which unfortunately Richard couldn't be here with us tonight, and we wanting to, but oh well, he had a prior commitment. But yeah, dude, that was just insane. He just went like full on like rage
Yeah,
mode. Like, damn, like you've that had that here this whole time.
I know.
I like how they also subtly like showed you that when he like cut through the crime scene and he just cut it with like a knife and it was the like bat symbol. He just put it back on
Mhm.
his chest.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty subtle. They're just like, oh, that's what that's for. Like that's cool. Everything seemed very like practical, like as
Mhm.
far as everything on his suit. He had like a full on like a utility belt essentially. His freaking squirrel suit when he glided, like
Yeah. That was really
God,
cool.
that was
Yo,
so
but
cool.
that shot, how they got that shot, like I'm pretty sure that I mean all that was I mean that wasn't CG, you could tell right away, but it was like it was really cool how they got that shot. And then the other thing was that when I think I saw it on TikTok, I think I was scrolling yesterday where
Oh, no way on
uh
TikTok.
exactly
Oh,
where they were talking the Matt Reeves is the director, right? Yeah. That's his name? Matt Reeves. Okay, cool.
mm,
I don't want to mess up his name. Matt Reeves, when they were asking him about something, he was talking about the car chase scene when Batman is chasing the penguin, and when he jumps through when the Batmobile jumps through the fire, he's like, that's not CGI, that's a practical effect. Like we actually jumped the car through the fire, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
dude, that
that's why it
chasing
looks so good.
the
Like
chase scene
it
just
looks so
looked
good.
real. It
Yeah,
looked like we were talking about this right when we right after we watched it, that it looked like those people were reacting the way normal people would
yeah,
react as
yeah,
opposed to just like, oh, I guess we're gonna move. People
yeah.
were just like, they don't know what to do.
Mhm.
So like, it was really cool, and then it kind of, oh man, this is another moment where I just kind of like couldn't help but laugh when he like walks up to him
He's
and
like
you know,
under the
yeah,
car.
he's like under, and he just goes, bro.
Yeah.
I was crying. It was so funny, but it was so like scary, but funny as hell. Like
Mhm.
it's intimidating.
Yeah.
Um, and I like how they like showed it like right from the beginning. He is they kind of show what effect this has had on him.
Yeah.
Um, and he's nocturnal. He's pretty much nocturnal. He hardly ever like actually goes out. Has like meetings and stuff, and he's just kind of like whatever. Like he doesn't care. It shows that he is Batman. Like his, Bruce Wayne is just,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever to him. And his journal, all of that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The way they did the narration. At first I kind of thought this might get kind of goofy, but when you get towards to like the end, um,
Mm-hmm.
it makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
He okay. I did kind of think it was hilarious when they're like at the end, the National Guard or Coast Guard or whatever show
Mm-hmm.
up to like help. And then these people have heard about the
Yeah.
Batman, and then they're
Yeah.
like, "This guy is really walking around in
Yeah.
broad daylight wearing this suit."
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly one of
Can you
my
imagine
thoughts
doing
as
that?
well.
Like, you just walk up to like Gotham or whatever. You're just like, "All right, let's see if this guy's." Oh, he's right there.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yep. That's him. Hey, hey, Mr. Bats, can I take a selfie real
That's
quick?
himself here. Dude,
For DC's version of Instagram or Twitter or
oh,
whatever. um but dude, yeah, I think overall it was a great movie. Like, yeah, if is it it is 3 hours, or is it exactly 3 hours, like
it's
2 hours and
255.
what,
255.
255, yeah, so it's close to 3 hours. um but yeah, so if you don't enjoy long movies, you probably won't like it, but it also keeps you entertained like throughout the
Yeah.
entire way, and the performances are really good from all the
Mhm.
characters, like.
They got some they did show a lot of him like, being a detective, which,
Hmm.
you know, he is the world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
But I think it might take him a while to get that title though, because he didn't know
Yeah.
what that thing was in the
Yeah.
beginning. He was like, "This is a murder weapon." What is it though? Find out, right?
You find
And
out at the end of the
this
movie.
would have been over a lot sooner if you had known what that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Pretty much.
oh man.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just thought that was like the one thing that I thought, "Oh, really, dude?" I did.
Well, also, I mean, maybe that also just tells you how out of touch he is because he's rich, so he's never had to
Or not
work a
even
day in his
necessarily
life.
because he's rich, but because he's like, just
Hmm.
Batman. He doesn't care about society. He
True.
doesn't
Yeah.
understand what that is,
Yeah.
but
Because in my when after I got done watching the movie, and every how he's like, the last voiceover that, or the one of the last voiceovers that we hear was like that I wanted to change the city, but I didn't want to, but I think I had the opposite effect or whatever, because people were like, oh, the villains were like glorifying him, or at least the Joker was,
mhm.
not the Joker, the
Well,
the the
that
the,
like
the Riddler was.
mhm,
um so in my head, when I left the movie, I'm like, do you think, I mean, if they make a Batman 2 or whatever they call it, do you think this is when Bruce Wayne starts getting more philanthropic and actually starts, like, is this like
yeah,
the change that happens in him? Because there is a change even in the comics. There is a change where, and in the animated series, there's like a change where he's like, I'm
mhm,
just Batman and Bruce Wayne doesn't exist. And then he's like, okay, well, Bruce Wayne is like an actual, like, yeah, we actually have to do good, like
yeah.
as Bruce Wayne and as Batman kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
that's actually exactly what I was talking to my roommate about too, because it was she was running for mayor. I forgot her name.
yeah,
Um,
the mayor
but
lady.
yeah, but she's like Bella or something. But
Hmm.
she she does like talk to him like, yeah, your parents were always like, they were great philanthropists, but I'm not seeing any of that from you. Like, and it does make sense because that's his family's legacy. And he's saying, even Alfred was like, do you not care about your, like, the Wayne legacy? You're still a Wayne.
Hmm.
And that, I feel like that was just kind of like, an underlying, like, what would you say? Stuck in my head. But I mean, it was an underlying theme throughout the movie, and it was very much, hinted to at the end that he is going to continue to do that because in the end, he realizes I can't do everything as Batman.
Hmm.
I have to be Bruce Wayne. There's
Hmm.
things that I can do with with the Wayne Foundation. So yeah, that's definitely
Yeah,
something that I feel like this was leading to, and I think we'll
yeah,
see him a little more of a, not just kind of like, why am I here, like,
yeah,
kind of, which
yeah,
yeah, which I loved anyways because
yeah.
it's like, yeah, this dude's like out of touch.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah,
Very
we'll
much.
definitely see that, that philanthropist, Bruce Wayne out there. a little bit more because like you've seen him in like the other movies and stuff and
Mhm.
comic shows, whatever. Like you see Bruce Wayne, you know, actually showing himself in public,
Mhm.
like doing like
Mhm.
yeah, just pulling up baller moves, buying hotels and stuff in the movies,
Yep.
But
Yeah, for
yeah,
real.
I definitely do see that happening
It's
though.
like, did you buy the house? No, I bought the bank.
Oh,
That
not
one.
even that. It's just like,
That
yeah,
one.
we want naked European girls in the pool, so I'm buying the hotel. Like
Yep. Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
fantastic, bro.
Yeah.
That was which one was that?
I don't
Was that
know.
Begins? That was Batman
I
Begins,
think I
wasn't it?
think that I think that was Begins, yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, mm,
Yep.
big baller move. Like yeah, I would see that more. And I feel like it's
Mhm.
gonna be more of a kind of dual identity type of
Yeah.
thing that he's gonna struggle with trying to find a
So,
balance.
real quick, before we end, let's just talk a little bit about the Joker because we didn't see anything at all. I had no idea that the Joker was gonna pop up at the end like he did. I don't know if that was like a
Another
secret
well
they
kept
kept
secret.
or
Pretty
if it
well
was like
kept.
yeah, and because when the Riddler was like in there like no looking at in the maximum security and
Bro,
he was looking at the TV. He was like, "No, no!" And then the Jokers were talking to him. I'm like, "Who is that?" Like, I guess
he was
I'm like,
crying, bro, and he sounded
"Yeah."
like Dwight Schrute. I'm like, "Ooh."
So I was like, "Who is that?" Like, what? Like, I couldn't pinpoint a voice or anything. So until finally that iconic Joker laugh at the end, I'm like, "Oh, that's the freaking Joker!" Like, and just that little bit that we got was another just really well good performance. Like just that, like that. What? Like the last 2 minutes of the movie, probably,
Mm.
or 3 minutes.
Yeah, it
Like
wasn't
five
very
minutes.
long,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude. I was kind of like nervous. I was hoping that they wouldn't do that, but as
Hmm.
long as they have a really good story to tell,
Hmm.
yeah, let's do it. It's his
I mean,
biggest
yeah,
villain.
you can't tell the story of Batman without telling the story of Joker. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. It's that's
Can
his
you? Can
that's
you?
his number one nemesis, man.
You
Like,
can
yeah,
definitely
you
tell a
can.
ton of great Batman stories without the Joker.
Well, no, yeah, true. But at the end of the day, the Joker is like the number one villain to Batman. Like it's like yin and yang almost.